Hi, my name is Nevena and I would like to present my design process for Task 1.7. I've created a vocabulary app called Chat Local. Chat Local is an application that lets users learn vocabulary to help them chat with locals when they travel. The first step in my user research was a competitive analysis. I chose to compare Drops, Busuu, and Babbel. This step was crucial in determining what worked and didn't work, as well as finding inspiration for my own vocabulary app. After this step, I created a survey and conducted interviews with 3 participants to better understand what their learning styles are and what features they were looking for. With this feedback, I was able to create my first proto-persona. This is Rachel, a 37-year-old OR nurse living in Philadelphia. Rachel loves to travel abroad several times a year with her husband. She also enjoys cooking and spending time outdoors. Her needs and goals are to have customized learning options, a tool for motivation that measures her progress, more real-world conversational learning, a personal library containing collections of saved words and phrases, and to be able to share this library with other users. The option of accessibility to this library when she has no Wi-Fi, and a countdown to her specific travel dates, helping her stay on track with learning. After assessing the objectives, I came up with a problem statement to use as a goal through this design process. Rachel needs a way to learn on a short time frame, stay motivated, and have accessibility at all times because she likes to make travel plans spontaneously. To start addressing these needs, I began with creating user flows and referenced my research to make a navigation that would allow the user to achieve these goals. I chose to prioritize 2 criteria. On the left, the user successfully creating a profile to log in, and on the right, the user creating and editing their custom library of saved words and phrases. From this stage, I was able to create wireframes, allowing me to build a more interactive navigation based on the user flows. Using the Crazy Eights method, I chose a layout that best reflected what features were necessary, and then I began the early prototypes. The prototypes were focused on the user successfully creating a profile and logging in, which is shown on the left, and on the right, the user opening my library and editing content. This allowed me to see the navigation in action and solve any concerns prior to giving participants their tasks. I found 3 participants and created 4 tasks to be evaluated. Once my testing was completed, I prioritized my observation and used Jacob Nielsen's error severity rating scale to help determine which changes were necessary to make. As you see here on the left, edits were made when opening the app. Based on my observation, the participants wanted to be able to log in immediately and not have to go through several screens to do so. Another simple action that I overlooked was to create a go back button should the user change their mind and want to edit their initial responses. Moving on to the My Library section, which is shown here on the right, I received several comments on the clarity of the word that is being edited, and having that word visible at all times seemed high priority for each participant. Another common observation was confusion over the placement of buttons for adding a library and editing items in the library. I focused on making these necessary changes immediately. This brings me to my pros and cons list and what I have learned. I found the Crazy Eights method very beneficial in helping me flesh out many ideas and then narrowing down to what direction I wanted to go in. The usability testing was very positive for me. Watching and interacting with users allowed me to understand their point of view and not just relying on my own instinct and what I think would be best. For cons, I had some difficulty explaining to the participants that the prototypes were minimal in navigation and some of the buttons were predetermined for this stage. And lastly, even though I had done the research to help narrow down what elements of the app would be the most important to the prototyping stages, it was difficult to select and narrow down what was necessary this early on. I had to adjust the navigation several times until I created a functional prototype that would help relay the benefits of this app. This concludes my presentation for my app, Chat Local. Thank you so much for your time.